Hi everyone. This is a very short video, I hope. One just to show you the features on how the new backup and restore of descriptions work on both the Genesys and the Star Wars rule set I have been developing the code. So as you may know, we have some libraries you can download that will have a database of objects, meaning items and talents, vehicles, skills, everything that you need to play the game. But due to copyright, we of course will not provide everything. You still need to own the books to play either Genesis or to play Star Wars, because like you can see here, we provide stats for objects like this, but we don't have any descriptions with rules explaining, okay, this is how this weapon works, or for example, this is how the Berserk talent works, and so on. So yeah, the the libraries they don't have any descriptions, so it's being always left to each one of you, each one of us, to enter these descriptions. So you would go to your books and just type all the descriptions in each one of these. But there's a problem. So the way that FantasyGrounds works is if you are editing a record like this, talent here, if I edit this and modify it, all the data that I modify here will actually only live inside the current campaign. So you cannot re-export this. Well, you can, but not easily re-export everything containing the descriptions. Plus, if you did some other ways to export everything, if you ever get a new version of the library, you would have to basically rework everything because there's no easy way to merge everything. So I have created a new database here, and it exists in both Genesis and Star Wars. I'm showing Genesis because, for example, here I will employ some PDFs of the books. I have both physical and the PDFs for Genesis books that I purchased from DriveThru. Um, so I can easily show what I mean, how this works. So there are two things I want to explain today. The first part is going to be, okay, from the point of view of the GM of you that has downloaded some libraries, either from us or from someone else, and it doesn't have any descriptions, how you do it, how you will create descriptions, create a library with this, and how this is going to be, how you are going to sync this with your campaigns. Okay. Now, so the first thing for this is I would advise you to create a new campaign specifically just for editing descriptions. So basically, this is not a campaign you are ever going to use to play, but just for editing descriptions. Like here, for example, you can create campaign. I have already done one, created one. So I created a name like a Z Genesis descriptions, Z, because this is all alphabetical order. So they will always be hopefully in the end of my list, not causing any confusion for me. But for this example, I created Genesis descriptions. You can do the same. You can choose whatever name you want, and then start, just like you would do with any campaign. And right after you finish loading the rule set, either Genesis or Star Wars, everything I'm doing here, you can do with the Star Wars rule set also. Okay, so here we go. Now, first step is open libraries. Okay, so go to library, modules, and you can click rule set filter here. And now you can open all the books or all the libraries that you want to edit. In my case, I decided to go and open all of the ones available for Genesis, like this. They are already open. And now the next step would be to edit everything. So what you want to do is you can go through the books. Like in my case here, let me show you. I have the core rule book here. And for this example, I am going to edit the text from, let's say, a talent. Okay, so let's see one talent here. Maybe this one, defensive sysops. So let's look for this in the database. So if I go here and I go to talents, like here, you can filter maybe, again, if you have more than one library, you can simply filter here like this. And now I'm going to try to locate here. Defensive sysops. So defensive sysops in this document is just defensive sysops. If I open in here, you will see, click this to unlock. Now you can see I have all the data, but no descriptions, right? So here, this field here, that doesn't have any name. This is the description field, okay? You can always look for source here. We usually populate telling you what's the book and the page where you have the rules. The page is not exactly the page where this is, but this is usually the chapter where you can find talents. But so next step is to copy the text. So I'll go to, well, of course, for Genesys, if you purchase the books, you have the PDF. If you don't, if you only have the physical books, you have to type. And for Star Wars, they unfortunately do not sell the PDFs. You would have to type it. I know it's a lot of work, but usually you will just fill up information you want. But now I'm going to copy this. For this, for example, I'm going to copy everything here. Don't worry about the dice symbols. I'll show you guys one thing. So here it is. So if you copy and paste like I did, first thing you notice is the text. It doesn't really break paragraphs correctly. And another thing you may notice is that here it says, for example, your character adds two setback dice to their opponent's checks, right? So here's one cool feature that we have in the rule sets. It is that we have some special characters you can use to enter symbols here. And for this version of the rule set, you can also, any fields that you have like this text field or like this, you can right click and you are going to find this option here to the right, which is a help window showing all the symbols that you can type. So let me show you this. Here you see there's a brief explanation. So basically, you would go to this part where there's a strange character. I'm just going to edit it, and I will add two setback dice. So it is, I have to type inside brackets the uppercase letter. So it's like this, this. Okay. Now this is the first thing. And you see it doesn't do anything, but as soon as I click out, like this, clicking on another field, you notice the symbols, they are replaced. I can go back and continue to edit this. And if you ever want to, I want this to go back to the code, you can simply double click the field and it will change back. You don't need to do that to continue editing, but you can do it. So now another thing that FantasyGrounds has is this Control J. So you can select one paragraph like this, and then Control J, and it fixes the paragraph like this. Now I can lock again, and you see this talent is completely filled up, right? Now let me give you another example. So I have a character here I'm creating. Like, let's imagine that before I edited this, just for this example, I go to abilities, talents, let's say, and I will and add defensive sysops, right? I'll edit here. And as you can see, if I click here, it's going to show the descriptions. Because here's the thing, the way that FantasyGrounds does is it is copying the information inside the character. So you see, it has descriptions now. But let's say if I did this before I edited this text here, so like this, this is the original one from the database, right? And this is the one in the character. So imagine that I like this, you don't have any descriptions, right? So I'll show you something really cool. So another thing from this backup and restore. So imagine that you have done all of this, you edited everything, in the character in the database everything you want. Okay. Now, for example, here, let me give you another example. I have already edited all the contents for skill information from the books and a few other things like careers. Careers like another thing is, if you don't know already, but if you look, for example, at the right side here, if you have a list like this, you'll see that there's an icon showing that this belongs to a library that I have opened. And if you notice this one here from Shadow of the Beanstalk has a little pen in the icon. It means that this campaign here has information that I have edited from the original record. So if I open this, you'll see, well, not in this case, but I think in some other cases I have already edited info. Like let me go to the core rulebook. So for example, if I go to Druid here, nothing. Oh, I don't have anything yet. Okay. Now, don't worry about this. So I could edit the information here already, but never mind. But okay, so you have everything here. You edit everything you want to edit. Okay. And now the next step you do is you have to make sure that you have visible here descriptions backup. It's a new database. Only the GM needs to use this. You can open going to options and sidebar, and here's where you will put it in display. So open it here, and this is where you will backup and restore. So after you've done all the edits you want, you don't have to do everything at the same everything at once. Okay, don't have to, but you can click on here, descriptions backup, and this is going to show you everything that you have already backed up. In your case, this is going to be blank, no information here, but I have already edited a lot of stuff in this campaign. Now, you see, if I go to talents, if I filter by talents, and I look into this one is defensive sysops, it's not here, you see? It's not here. But now, here's the thing. After you edit everything, you have to hit backup. Depending on how much you have opened and how many descriptions you have edited, this may take a while. So you see it's going to show a message, all descriptions have been stored. Okay, so now if I look again, defensive sysops has shown up here. It's here. So this is just a database to show you whatever you have backed up. And this is going to show the description from this record, okay? The extra information here is not usually relevant, but this is just showing you the original record, it shows the ID of the record for this talent and what library it belongs to. And if you click here, you can always open this record here like this, or for example, this one here. Let me try to find one I have really edited the text. I think in skills, maybe. Yeah, I see skill here. This is the text. If I scroll all the way down, it tells me the original record. I can click here, and this is the skills record. Okay, this is different from the ones here. So the important thing is edit everything. This is the first step. The second step is click on backup. This is gonna back up all descriptions here. And now what you want to do is, so imagine that you want to use this in your main campaign, right? You have a campaign, you have all these descriptions. What you can do is you can open the export feature from FantasyGrounds that allows you to create modules. So type export like this. A message will pop up here. Okay, this is important because when you start when you choose to export the databases, you can choose with or without descriptions. This is something I will show in the end of this video, but it's not relevant right now. But the second step for you, after you have edited your descriptions, you will click here and select only this one, okay? Select only the descriptions backup table. And now you can click and create a name for your module. This is going to be the module that contains the descriptions. So in this case, I created like John Genesys descriptions backup. Click export. It may take a while. Okay, don't worry if it takes a while. Wait for the exported successfully. And now I have created a module with this description. So let's create a new campaign. Okay, I'll start from scratch, but you can load an existing campaign also. So for example, if I create a new campaign here, like Genesys fans, this is a new campaign. Open here, Genesys. Okay, so I started a new campaign. And next step, of course, I'm going to open the libraries. So again, open modules, filter. And let's say for this, I'm going to be simple. I'll just use the core book. You don't have to open everything. But let's say I'm just going to use core book. And now I also choose the Genesis descriptions one. That this is the one I just created that contains the descriptions. Okay. So now I have both opened. Now, first of all, let me create a character just to show you some cool features. So I have a new character. Let's call this John. Doesn't matter whatever I put here, but I'm gonna choose. So his species is animalistic alien. His career is gonna be a druid. Don't worry about this. Okay, just go with this. So click on skills. Remember that for Genesis, this is not in Star Wars, but for Genesis, you can have different settings. This will dictate what skills you have. Since I only have the core book, I can only choose default skills, and this is going to populate the skills. So if you look here, I have no descriptions, right? Let's choose. Let's choose maybe a talent here. Maybe that one. Defensive sysops, just for example. So if you look here, defensive sysops doesn't have the description, only the information telling you where in the books this information is. So, okay, I have this character here. Now, here's where the thing works. Imagine that you just started, and before everyone starts playing, you will go here again, go to the sidebar and select the descriptions database, open it, and you see it has a lot of records, and they belong to this library that I have created the backup one. And these are all the descriptions that I have edited. Now, what you will do here is you click Restore All. Okay, so you don't have to do this every time you're going to play. Only if you have updated your library containing the descriptions, you have to restore in your campaign. So this is really cool. You can click Restore, and okay, it's restored everything. Now, if I go, for example, to, let's say, my character, if I go here and open this character, I open the Defensive Sysops, you see it's already populated with information I have edited. Not only the main record, like if I go to talents, let's put everything here, show everything. So if I go to talents here and I choose Defensive Sysops, you see the description is here, and it is also here. So not everything have been populated, but you get what I mean. So now everything is populated, all the information, like for example, in this case, I have populated all the descriptions for this species, information about druids. I didn't yet, but you can. It also works for items, abilities, vehicles, everything you have in the game. Now the players can have access to the information about the description, about skills, and so on. Okay, so this is really easy, really easy. And imagine that you have downloaded a new version of the library. It still works. Okay. Now, if the library contains more data, you can always go back and go back to your other campaign where you use only to edit descriptions like this, and then open the libraries if you haven't yet, and continue editing everything. And you can, after you edit, remember you are going to open backup again, all the database, like this. So for example, imagine I have edited more stuff. You can always go to backup and backup all again. And after you back everything up, yeah, sometimes it takes a long time. You see, like this. Yeah, it's normal. Okay, you just go and export this again to your library containing descriptions. That's all. It's really simple. I hope everybody. I hope it is simple for you guys to use. So basically, that's it. Okay. Now, the second part of this video, what I wanted to explain is from the point of view of somebody that is actually creating a new database. This is a little bit different. Okay. Now, so this is mainly for, I think Cedric, for example, he creates a lot of databases, he shares a lot of stuff. But if you also want to create a library for something, let's say for a book or sometimes for fan-made content, and you feel like the content would contain data from the books that you can't provide the descriptions if it is not something user-made. What you can do is, let's say, after you imagine this is my my campaign where I created all of the objects. Like you are creating and you are going to export the library and share this library with everyone. What you have to do is you go to export, just like I was showing again earlier. And here, instead of this file, of course, I would change this. Let's say I'm gonna call John Library. Okay, I'm going to create a different library. Imagine I have created let's say other skills or items or NPCs. You select everything you want here. Sometimes you want to select all, right? Notice that if you select all, it doesn't select descriptions backup. Okay? You don't need this if you are creating a library with items, talents, skills, everything that you want to share. And another important thing is if you export like this and you have other libraries opened, like I have here, it is not going to re-export this data because it doesn't belong to the campaign. Okay, this is from FantasyGrounds. You don't re-export the records, but it doesn't matter anyway. Now, if you see here, I have everything including characters. If you don't want to export any characters from this here, you can select. But if you want to, you can go ahead and even create some characters. Imagine this is going to be a pre-generated character for a campaign you're creating, for a module you're creating. You can populate everything here with the skills, everything, and select pre-generated characters. This character is going to be exported with a module. Like this is from not something I created, right? Now, okay, so you have everything except this one, and this is the important part. You see this here, descriptions. If you check this out and you export, and this is the important part for this attention here, okay? So what this will do is when you hit export, in the background, what this rule set is going to do is it is going to hit backup. So it's basically doing this. It's going to back it up, back up everything, okay? Back up everything. You don't have to do it, but it will do it automatically here. So it's going to back up all the descriptions from all kinds of records. And the next step is it will temporarily delete all descriptions from the database because they are already stored here. And then it will run the export routine from FantasyGrounds. This is a way I found, the only way I found to export data without descriptions. So I don't expect everyone to be using this. This is mainly for Cedric because he is usually sharing some records in libraries. This is a way for him, let's say maybe his library, his personal use library, he already has descriptions to play with his players, but if he wants to share a library or if you want to share a library, make sure you don't check this because this way it's not going to export descriptions. So imagine that, like I was explaining, when you hit export, it's going to back up all descriptions, temporarily remove the descriptions, generate this module you wanted, and then it will restore all the descriptions automatically. And at the end, it is just going to tell you it is okay. So here's an important message that I put. So I don't expect this to fail, but since this is a new feature, I issued this warning to everyone. So imagine that if you click export and you are exporting without descriptions, this may take a long time to run, a few minutes, and FantasyGrounds may stop responding. Don't panic, okay? Don't worry. Wait for a few minutes. After doing some tests, it didn't take more than 2 minutes with me, but usually it's really quick. But if for some reason, while it is generating the module, if there's a crash, if it crashes before you see a message saying the module was exported, follow the instructions here. So basically what I'm telling is you're going to just reopen your campaign, and before you do anything, you will go to descriptions and hit restore, okay? Because if the crash happened while the descriptions were removed temporarily, they won't be in the database. So if you click restore, you are safe, okay? So yeah, this is just to be careful. So let me show you guys. So I click export. You have to wait for the message here. See, the button is also going to change colors. And yeah, there you go. So module exported successfully, and everything is back. Like if I go to skills, everything's fine, and the characters and everything else. So for example, in this case, I don't know if I had any records here. So yeah, I won't be able to test this, but yeah, so in theory, this module will not have any descriptions, right? So yeah, so basically this is it, guys. Remember, so like I was saying, if you have descriptions, it is really, hopefully, really easy to make sure you can populate descriptions and always update whenever you get a new version of the library or start a new campaign. Remember that you can always, now you have this, you can always right click and click here, and this window will pop up reminding you the special symbols you can type in these windows. And yeah, and this is it. I hope everybody likes this. And now I have to work on the other features. Well, thanks for watching, guys. And if you have any doubts, any questions, or any bugs to report, remember to put some comments in the forums. Okay. Thank you, guys, and see you there.